discussion after he left. Backstage past guest Will. And Will Peterman is a writer, photographer, software engineer, but the part that got me, he's a bee nerd. He's not a beekeeper. He's a bee advocate. He has been a beekeeper. He's got a website called beesearch.org, BEESEARCH. And, as I go around and say thank you to people in the audience, so many of them come up and they go, the bee stuff was interesting. I'm not a beekeeper, but it was interesting. And people go, the gardening stuff was interesting. And they know that I like these quirky topics, but you do know that bees are responsible for, 30-40% of our food being pollinated. And it's a bit of a global crisis. He and I had a fantastic talk about this. We talked about what's actually killing the bees, and I think you said it in one word, in a sense, almonds, right?
Yeah.
Explain that, if you would, Will.
Well, the short version is that almonds need a lot of bees and to pollinate them.
And they're grown in Southern California,
in the Central Valley of California. And they are planted so intensively that they use basically all the water.
All the water, all the land, no wildflowers grow where the almonds are.
Yeah, the wildflowers are gone.
And by the way, our consumption of almonds, that's one of our products that's shooting through the moon. We're using almond, we're drinking almond milk, we're bathing in almond water.
I eat some almonds.
We're smoking almonds. We're doing
smoke almonds.
Yeah,
almonds are great.
They're
there's just a downside, right?
Yeah. But the downside to all this almond production.
Well, it means that the only way that they can get those the almond flowers pollinated, so you get your nuts, is to truck in honeybees in insane numbers.
Insane numbers.
So like 3 out of every 4 living honeybees in the continental United States are put on trucks and driven to Central California.
Did you know about this massive? This is massive corporate farming.
And so it's like this giant honeybee party in Central California every year. And that it means that anytime a new parasite, a new virus gets introduced into the U.S.,
instead of being regional,
it goes to California, and everybody catches it, and then it gets spread out.
Spread it out. In
so
other words,
every problem is a national problem.
It's like a bee internet kind of a thing. It's like they're all on the same infected website, only they're actually all going to almonds. And it used to be there'd be little outbreaks of parasites and problems with bees here and there, and it would kill them off in regional areas. But now, because everybody trucks their bees to pollinate the almonds, and then they bring their bees back and they mingle with other local bees, it's almost like bee kindergarten. You know how you go to a kindergarten and everybody gets sick?
It's bee school.
Yeah. So it's fascinating.
It's bee Burning Man.
So you study bees, and I want to send people to your website because there's a picture of an incredibly beautiful but rare native bee. And I did not know this. The honeybee is not native to our area.
No, it came over with the colonists along with the cows and everything else. Yeah.
Right. So bees in the Pacific Northwest would not make honey.
No.
In nature.
Not enough to matter.
The western bumblebee. Is this a certain version of the western bumblebee, or that's what it's called?
It's what it's called.
Okay. Bombus
occidentalis.
Occidentalis.
Yep.
It's the white-tailed bee. I want you to take a look at that. I'm going to post a picture on the
That's
website.
hot.
Yeah. There'll be a story about the sex toys, too, and I suppose it'll probably get more clicks.
No.
Buzz.
Even though they're related topics,
yep.
the birds and the bees.
Right.
Why is this such a rare bee?
Well, they used to be everywhere. So, I mean, there were
Did the
thousands.
honeybee crowd out this local bee?
Probably not. I mean,
Okay.
there were thousands of different kinds of bees when already here when the honeybees came over, and the
Or
western
did
bumblebee-
our neighborhoods getting rid of lots of what we call weeds that are actually local wildflowers? Did that make it harder for this bee and others?
It made it harder. The pesticides make it harder. A lot of things make it harder. Probably what actually did them in was an effort to domesticate them.
Oh.
Somebody got the idea to raise them in greenhouses so you could have tomatoes in
They trim
February.
their fur like a poodle.
But I can't be domesticated.
Yeah.
And they got a little impatient and started shipping the queens back and forth to some research labs in Europe. And it turns out that the bee diseases in Europe are just a little bit different from the ones over
We
here.
polluted their environment.
And something got out.
Wow.
And
And that's how delicate the ecosystem is for bees. All
Texter
right.
says, I was going to miss Bob, but now I don't care anymore.
You notice we all start checking our email and stuff.
It's okay. Oh, I'll give you all what you want. August 8th at 10 a.m.
Get the hell out of here.
Take
your friend and your bees with you.
Okay. So for those of you with a conscience and a soul who are still with me,
I know the bees are important.
Yeah,
I gave
Will-
one sugar water on the street, I swear.
Will has an Indiegogo donation campaign that ends August 1st. And if you want to find out how you can help support research, these are the guys that are going to solve this kind of problem and figure out ways to stop the spread of these bee diseases. Just go to Indiegogo.com and search what?
search for the Western bumblebee.
Western bumblebee.
Yep.
All right, Will. Thank you very much. Don't you listen to that.
Thank you, Will. I know bees are important, and if they all go, we all go
We
too.
make light
I love you
now,
all. Glad
but
to be
if
here.
we're starving later, we're going to
Oh, yeah.
regret it. This is important stuff.
No, you know why? You know why you still? Well, you
No,
will
it's-
care.
yeah,
Because
go
you
ahead.
eat actual living
Go ahead.
vegetables now. But most of our population, they'll still be Doritos. They don't care.
They don't care
They'll
about
go
that,
in and they'll buy packaged food.
about Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Not
They'll all
us.
get diabetes. And
We're better
Are they
than them.
better than us? Are they better looking?
Yeah.
Are they sexier? Do they make more money? Probably. So I don't get it.
My favorite soundbite of the day.
Are there any positive comments here?
Yes, there are.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to miss you, Bob.
I made up that one that I
Oh, you
said.
made it up.